Oh, we're live. And once this theme music stops, I think you're going to hear more music in the background. My neighbors, I don't want to lie and say they're bad. They're weird. Possibly white supremacists. We're not sure. Probably quiet Trumpers. We're not sure. They've never spoken to us in 6 years. But right behind this wall is their house. Duh. That's how neighbors work. And right here, behind this is a soundproof curtain. They're blasting some of the worst late 80s hair metal influence, but not as good bands right now. And it's a disaster. So they might bleed through. Welcome to the Blathering Live on a Saturday night. It's a Saturday night special edition. Tully Quinn says, we've gotten so much Ken this week. What a treat. Well, Tully, I'm glad you think so, because sometimes I don't think that about myself, but I'm glad you're here. Chad is already talking about the poll tonight. Jared, the Type Pilot, he's here. He's ready to call in. We missed Jared on Friday's show and Monday's show. Oh, my God. It's like it's a whole family reunion here. Eric Elliott here says, I come in here immediately hear white supremacists. Yeah. I don't want to. Again, we could have worse neighbors, and they could probably even hear me. But they ignore the hell out of us for 6 years, to where like they'll be in the front parking lot or the front yard, and you'll be like, and they just kind of and they walk away. We thought it was us. Now Grace and I, we're whiteys. So we wouldn't suspect anything weird. Talked to our neighbors, family from Mexico that's been in Burbank like 30 years. Talked to the patriarch of the family, the old grandpa that lives there, or he owns the house. But he's like, oh no, they've done that the entire time they've lived here, like 15 years. They haven't spoken to like anyone. And we kind of think it's because we're Mexican. And I was like, well, yeah, that's possible, but they're maybe assuming that of me then, because they're not speaking to us. So they're just dicks. And every so often, I think they're the type of the people, and I don't want to make a generalization here. They're the type of people that go to the lake on the weekends a lot. They're that type. They're Havasu people. And if you're a Havasu person here in chat, I'm not judging you. I have some good friends who are Havasu people. In fact, I have an old acquaintance from my old job. Her and her husband moved to Havasu. They loved it so much. But there's a certain kind of people that parties at Lake Havasu, or just certain kind of people that goes to the lake every weekend. And that's them. I think the music stopped now. We'll see. Some people want to be outsiders. Laserbolt, you cook meat in the forest. This isn't them. Because we've had some interaction with them. There was like a package delivered to our house, and we didn't know it. And then we were gone. We were in New York, and they kept knocking on our door, and they weren't mean. But he looked over and he saw we have a no solicitor sign and a pride flag, like, and we on our Ring camera. He went, ugh. He literally did that, like a comical, ugh. So I don't know if they're outsiders, Laserbolt. I think they're something else. This is going to be a fun show here. We're here till a little past 5 o'clock. Happy you're all here. Happy Joseph Thomas is here. Happy Trey's here. And Eric, and I saw that Eric Elliott said, I want to know more about this, Eric. Your reactions to me are now in a compilation on my channel. I got to check that out, Eric. That sounds fantastic. I love that. Yeah, Roger is right. The London Bridge is in Lake Havasu. One of the weirdest, the London Bridge is falling down. I don't forget how it got there. People think it's haunted. Nothing big planned on the show tonight, unless Brandon. I forgot to check in with Brandon. It's just been one of those days. But some things on the agenda. But about 5 o'clock tonight, we'll start wrapping up. But if you got super blathers, which are super chats with specific questions for me, we'll answer those at 5 o'clock. If you've got questions along the way, or super chats or super things along the way, of course, appreciated, but not needed to be part of the fun here tonight. David McKay says, what? Are you reacting to the London Bridge? The London Bridge. Eric said, add your name in a tweeted video. If it's tweet as in Twitter, I don't go on Twitter maybe but once a week to check in. just to make sure I'm still alive there. But I will make sure to check that out, Eric, and watch the video. I'm choking on my own bile tonight. Couple things on the agenda up top here. We got calls. We got Brennan, we got Jared, we got some calls lined up. If you want to be a caller on the show, you can become a YouTube channel member. We're over 100 channel members right now. It's going to dip because a lot of them are gift subscriptions or gift memberships, and those are wonderful. Please give them if you want to. Definitely helps. YouTube even gave me a little note. Ooh, congratulations, 100 members. They're going to put me on the front page of YouTube. Remember that back in the day when YouTube started? Like the front page of YouTube was where you wanted to go. I do have some new merch, but I have a new coffee mug up. Now, this isn't... by the way, tonight, this little Grogu mug, it's not juice. It's not juice, I'll tell you that much. James is here checking in, one of our great channel member gift givers there. Dylan Barry, Eagles green beanie. I didn't think of it, but yeah, it is kind of, and that is my prediction. Clip out of the predictions coming up a little bit later tonight after the show's done. I put some new merch up on the Fourth Wall shop. My TeePublic shop is still active. You can go there to get anything you want. I don't really use it. I barely see, you see 50 cents or $1 at most for like a shirt or something there. Fourth Wall, I get a little bit more, and it's integrated with YouTube. I do have a new mug of the Blathering Live up on the channel and on the shop. Check links below. I want to put some more merch up, but let me know. Like I said before, merch isn't a big seller. I'm not expecting to get rich, but maybe you want a Blathering Live coffee mug or a sport cup or something like that. Do let me know. Do let me know. Oh, James, there you go. 10 gift memberships. Thank you. You're going to keep us up and over the 100 mark tonight. And if you want to call in with that channel membership, other way to call in is on Patreon at patreon.com/KenNapzok. Thanks to Ben, who joined in the show on Thursday. If you'd like to support Patreon, support me on Patreon, please do. I'm trying to get up over 100 paid supporters there. I think we're about 94, 95 now. Back in the glory days, I used to push 200, and it's just a different time, and we're all struggling. So if you're not and you want to help me on Patreon, love it. I'm going to put up another stand-up comedy set. Had a good set last night. Hot water bottle. Ooh, okay, look at that, James. Anything for you, James. James, you've been a hero here on this channel. In my prayers at night, to God, I'm not sure I believe it anymore. I mentioned James Holmes from UK. I really do. I should actually have I should have an ARIA list. An Arya Stark list, but a positive one. What was I talking about? Jared, the type of, what was I talking about? Oh, he's not on the phone yet. He's not. I haven't brought him in yet. Patreon. Had a good comedy set last night. Really excited about it. I was a coward, but I also ended up being a funny comic, and that's more important. I didn't do the new material that I want to do. Svetnik, here's why. I did not do the Abe Lincoln bit. Which you can see the rough version of the Abe Lincoln bit on the last thing I put up on Patreon. What happened was the show was a good attended show. It wasn't quite packed, but it was very well attended. Someone was in the front row who I knew that I wanted to make sure I had a good set from, only because if I had a bad set, they'd come up to me and say something. They're like a former work acquaintance. And nice enough, but it's just they're that type of person that would have been like, oh, I guess you tried tonight. Like, so I got a little, not nervous, but I was like, okay. And they're right in the front row. But here's what happened. This is the mind of a comic. The Abe Lincoln bit is it's a 10-minute thing. So if I start it, you gotta finish it. That's 10 minutes. You're locked into it. I had 10 minutes last night for my set. The first 4 comics were not having a lot of success. They were actually good comics, number one, and two, saying good, funny things, but the crowd was not eating it up. They weren't connecting. They weren't reacting. It was just one of those nights. You don't blame the crowd. The crowd just wasn't, they were doing the nod. That's funny, as opposed to a laugh. So I was like, you know what? I got to kick them into higher gear. I'm going to do something different, and I'm not going to go at them. They weren't reacting to a lot of political humor from the previous comics. They were kind of not reacting to overt sexual humor. Sometimes crowds are puritanical. You don't know. It's really weird sometimes. Even in LA, you'll say something and you'll use a word or something. They'll be like, ooh, we don't like that. So I went with the material I know, put together a set, and it was a good set. Jared says this, and happy to talk about it. Is there an instant where you blame the crowd? Look, sorry, Rich T distracted me. If you could add a remove Trump from office to your merchandise, I'll buy. I might try to do that there. Yes, to blame the audience is wrong. To blame the audience is not the way to go. But you cannot deny that sometimes the audience is a factor. Audiences have their own kind of life. They have their own kind of existence in stand-up comedy, and probably every place. It's probably different in music. So anyone you hear in a band, we'll talk to Jared about his band. When you're playing, you can kind of tell, but it's a different relationship. Song, audience. You don't even need them to say much. They can dance, nod, they can do all that stuff. You need an audience to react, and you need to connect with an audience in comedy. And there are nights where people just don't want to. And there are nights where, they're just nights where something is off. And I was on one show where it was 10 like A-list headlining, not famous names, but headlining comics. And all of us went out there. It was like a buzzsaw. Just we were being fed to the lions. And it wasn't us. It was the crowd. There you go. Rich T says, that kind of thing would fascinate me and terrify me for a comic. Love that it being resourceful and adapting doesn't work. That would suck. Yeah. And that's what I've gotten better at. 898 for customers always right, except not always. Yeah. In comedy, they're right, but sometimes no. Yeah, no, you've got to be able to adjust. I used to be locked in. And that was last night that's why I chickened out on my highly political Abe Lincoln bit, but I succeeded as a comic because it's like a quarterback. When Mark Ellis and I talk comedy, we don't talk comedy a lot, but we talk about in terms of sports. Staying in the pocket. Hey, maybe you threw an interception. Next drive, just stay in the pocket, complete your passes, get back up on it. And that's kind of how it goes. You just want to kind of be in the pocket and see what the crowd's giving you, see what that defense is giving you. And move around and just throw stuff in there. And I've gotten a lot better at it. And I'm actually doing the best comedy I've done in a long time. Yeah, see, Steve, this isn't for you. Okay, this is an Eagles beanie. Dylan Barry already accused me of that at the Dylan Barry Network. Tully has a great question. Talking stand-up comedy here tonight. Then we got calls from Jared. We got calls from Brendan. And more your calls if you want. If you got one of those channel memberships that James just delivered to you, one of those gifts memberships, call in. Tully has a great question. What do you do if a guy bombs terribly right before you? I've read that question in my own way, I guess. Do you acknowledge it at all? Not necessarily. It sometimes needed. As a host, I think you do. As a host, it's really weird. When you go up, especially on the nights I was doing shows where I was hosting stand-up and there was 13 comics. And they're doing 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and maybe there's some greener comics or bringer comics kind of trying to get booked and everything. You as a host would go up and be like, hey, this next person is really funny. They're play around town. They're hilarious. You're vouching for them, even though most of the time I wouldn't even know who they were. This is the first time I met them. And you're telling the audience, this next person's hilarious. And when they come up and they eat shit in a way that is very clearly indicative of an unfunny person on stage, which happens, you have to address it. Or if they are funny, I have bombed in ways that are beyond painful. And you kind of need, the audience is now looking at the host as, you liar. You said we bought a ticket to a comedy show, and you said this guy was hilarious, and this Napzok guy sucked. So yeah, you kind of got to play with it a little bit, or you come out strong and you pull them on. I'm always rooting for comics on shows with me to have great sets. I never, even if there's some people I'm like, I don't really like that person. I want them to kill, and I want to go up with that energy after. All right. One of the things we want to talk about tonight here, I did want to get to a little bit of where I'm at. And I don't know where you all at too. We can check the poll here too. But talk about funny food stuff and silly food things. Obviously, I'm like all of you, or at least I hope all of you, engaged in the news every day, engaged in what's going on. And I think I'm discovering at the end of the week is when I'm a little at my it's too much kind of phase. Where Monday, Tuesday, you're raring to go, or you're looking at headlines and being like, Trump did this and Musk did this, and you want to tweet about it or post about it, or you want to go on a show like this and yell about it. And I'm finding that by the time Saturday rolls around, when I can barely get out of bed because of my own life, I got a job rejection yesterday from a part-time radio job that I wasn't deemed good enough to run a soundboard for a show. I didn't want to wake up today. Like permanently didn't want to wake up today. And so you just kind of look at the news, and I think that Saturdays are a little bit of, for me, staying sane in insane times. And I think I keep saying that it's completely valuable. And I've been talking to a lot of other friends that I know this week of just like, it's too much. That's part of the plan. It's the Nemec from Star Wars thing we keep talking about. They want to overwhelm you with all this stuff. And it's not even the actions. What's getting me down is you get the actions of an administration that I believe is trying to mold the country into their image in a rapid fashion, in a incorrect and scandalous fashion. And they're doing what they're doing. But then you got people in your lives who are celebrating it. And that's wearing on me, that's where the hopelessness is coming in. So if you're out there tonight and you feel it, and you're out there tonight, and tonight's the night you just want to talk about boneless chicken wings for a Super Bowl party, that's what we're going to do tonight. But if you want to go other places, I'm ready to go other places too. One of the things I wanted to talk about is I've been using ResistBot, and I was watching AOC. I think someone put it on Blue Sky, and I got to say she's great. And I used to not think AOC was great. When she emerged on the scene, I was detaching from a lot of my conservative past. And I was still I was an independent, and I'm still technically registered independent. It's a nice dream to have, but this isn't the time. I think you got to choose a side, but and it's not about one side better than the other. You know what I mean by that. I'm not gonna explain that tonight. But I used to not. She was a little like too much for me. Like what are you doing? And I've come full circle on that. I think there's other politicians who maybe need to learn to play the game a little bit better to get things done in terms of just legislation. That's just kind of reality of government. It's a reality of life. It's a reality of you being at work and having to get along with someone who you don't like, but you got to maybe come together on a work goal. Like that's life. And I think she's learned that. I think she's taken some heat from that from people on the left or progressives. I hate using the term far left, but you know what I mean. But I think it's just a sign of maturity. I love what she's doing. I love what she's saying. And she was giving an update. She was like knitting while she was doing it and talking about how she does have friends on the Republican side. She does talk to some Republican representatives and their offices. And she does know that what is going on with the calls. People are calling their reps. That old timey thing. Call your reps. And people are getting inundated. The offices are getting inundated. And I've been using ResistBot, and it's the first time I've really done that because I'm not a caller, but I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to do the call thing. I'm gonna have to leave a message because you're not talking. Very rarely we talk to a live person. And if you go to those like 5 calls and those kind of websites, they'll give you the script, so you don't have to worry about it. But ResistBot's working because I filled out some ResistBot stuff last week. Shout out to my buddy Hal. We popped one here in chat. I got letters back that are form letters from Schiff and Padilla. And Padilla, Alex Padilla, one of my senators out here, is doing things. Schiff is he's an old school politician, and that's not good all the time. But I got things back from them, and it was automated, just as my ResistBot message was automated. You fill out the little form, and ResistBot takes care of the rest. But it reached them. I got something back from those offices, and just to see that alone, to hear people who have worked for Congress, people who have said, oh, 20 calls on an issue, we get nervous. The representative, the congressman gets a little itchy with like 20 calls on an issue. So the fact that there's hundreds, if not thousands of calls and emails. Mine are ResistBot. I choose to send an email. The fact that that is happening, and AOC was saying that in the video today, that is helping, and it's your words in action. It's the things we do on this show. We scream about the news and what's happening out there. It's a way to actually take some action because we need these reps to do something, and we need some of that kind of action. But that is our action. That's one of the actions we can take. So I did want to say it felt oddly good to get a message back from the offices of the two senators that I have around me. Not that one of them was that vote, the Trump nominee that went through, that the Democrats did try to hold the floor on to protest it. It went through, so it's like, but voices were heard, and it's working. So, and Rich T, you said this here too. I actually started from earlier before the show started. There's a sliver of hope. There are 3 special elections coming up, 2 in Florida, 1 in New York, that could give Dems the House. Remember, this is tiny margin, but all 3 are red districts with only one realistic to flip. Pinpricks of hope. Yeah, pinpricks of hope. Flip one. Crazy things happen. Remember at the end of 2023 into early 2024. At the end of the Biden years, like Republicans started losing Congress people, started resigning and infighting. Things could happen. I'll take a lesson. Romo's in chat. There's our Detroit friend, Romo. Let's take a lesson, and we'll wrap up. Unless you guys want to talk about it more in your calls, go where you want to go with your calls. Jared the TIE Pilot next. Brendan's next as well after that. Hal's in chat. Romo's in chat. Shout out to my buddy Hal, who was sharing ResistBot stuff. But I played a little Fortnite this afternoon, and there was a match in which the 3 of us, Lauren Romo, Hal Lublin, and myself, at one point in the match, all 3 of us had died a few times. To quote Star Wars, I've died before. We were all on our knees, crawling around, getting ready to be turned into cards. If you play Fortnite, you know what that means. And it looked like we were done. It looked like we were defeated. We were overwhelmed by enemies. At one point, Hal had like 2 health left, and he was the only one alive. And then he'd bring me back, and then I'd fight, and then I'd get knocked down, but Romo would be back up, and then we won the match. So in that moment, we were down and out and overwhelmed, just like I think a lot of us in this country right now feel. And we won. So am I saying Fortnite is teaching us about life and politics? Hell yeah, I am. That's why I play it. And also, I like jumping around as a weird character. All right, let's get to some things here. 8984M says, Fortnite is the ultimate life metaphor. Yeah, absolutely it is. All right, let's check the poll, and then we're going to call in here. We are here till about 5 o'clock tonight. If you got any super blathers, let me know. Hit me with those, and I'll answer those questions tonight. So the poll tonight was favorite Super Bowl snack. And again, sometimes I just want to maybe put down, hey, here's the question of the night. What is your favorite Super Bowl snack? But I like having a poll. It's action. It's words. It's words in action. I put wings, pizza, some kind of dip, just beer, please. There's 20 more answers, and I want to hear your answers. If you're on Facebook and Twitch, just put your decision, put your choice in the comments so I can see it. But if you're on YouTube, answer the poll. 27 votes. Wings, 41%. Pizza, 26%. And I know that's kind of a meal, but I just like when you go to a table at a Super Bowl party, like that, all that stuff is on there, right? We're not serving like pasta dishes, unless it's like from Domino's and you scoop it up and it's kind of stuck together and it makes that sound when you put it on the plate, which is tasty. Nothing fancy on those tables of Super Bowl snacks. Wings, pizza, some kind of dip, just beer, please. I think for me it's dip. Wings are a little graphic. Chips and salsa is a good answer there. Wings to me are a little graphic. I like to eat wings privately. Number one, I don't want to turn some people on. And number two, I don't want to disgust anyone else in that room. Beer and hot dog, mustard, ketchup, and onions. Yes. There's a bolt. Flamin' hot Cheetos. That's a great answer. Tully says the right kind of dip can make or break festivity. It sets the mood. I agree with that. Tully, I agree with that. Dips are the great equalizer. Turn a great party into a bad one. Turn a bad party into a great one. David McKay says the big game is on pretty late here, so I tend not to eat and drink thing. That's fair. That's fair. How does that translate to any other sporting events that are based out there, David? I don't mean that in like a mocking, like fake accent way. Like, a football game, a rugby game, a cricket game, or something. Anything out there? Highlander games, caber toss. I don't know. What's the equivalent out there? Beer. Well, that works. Haskell, Eddie Haskell's here. Shout out to Eddie Haskell. Wings, mozzie sticks, good cheese dip. Okay. James says, how's the bad segment going? Feels like you need some British food inflicted upon you. We need to add. I need some volunteers for good bad food. I want to do that next week. We had the great episode with Ken Plume. Shout out to Plume, who's I think in chat yelling at Romo to get her head in the match. I think what's in the mug? Definitely adult stuff today. But anyways, I lost count. All right. Mozzie sticks is a good choice, but dips. All right, let's go to a call. He's in a sweater tonight. It's Jared the TIE Pilot. What's up, my friend?
How do I follow that epic story of Fortnite survival? I mean, come on.
It's the greatest life lesson.
You save that for the end. You know, that's the closer right there.
Thank you. What's on your mind? How did band practice go this week?
Good. Actually, reason I missed yesterday was normally we practice on the weekends, either the Saturday or Sunday, but we've got about a couple feet of snow coming in tonight. Oof. So we were just like, you know what? Friday night sounds good.
Yeah. How do you brace for snow like that? What do you do out there?
Scotch.
That's how you. Okay.
That's also a favorite Super Bowl snack. That and wings.
That's your answer, wings?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. When Ellis and I were in Boston in April, it was bad rain, sideways rain, and I was impressed at just how the town was to it.
Yeah. No, it's just since 76, nobody's really cared. You know, that was the year of a big old blizzard where it was 10 feet of snow and nowhere to put it.
Is it 76 or is it the blizzard of 77, which is a great I think Nerf herder song.
Oh yeah, no, it's 76, 77. It's the 70s. I was born in 86. What do you want?
Okay, well, I was born in 76, so I want to know. Sid the Scientist says, my mother makes bacon wrapped pretzel sticks with Parmesan cheese. It's delicious. Heart attack. Man, it's a delicious heart attack. Sid, you're a scientist. You got to take care of that heart. We need you. We need you in this world. Send all that my way. All right, so you just pour some scotch, wrap it up, wrap yourself up, and face the snow.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. All right. That's good. So, what's on your mind today?
So tonight I got a quick observation and then a fun what if. Remember those from the old Casterly Talk days, the what ifs?
I do. I appreciate those.
So first, the quick observation that it's I see a lot more, and the observation for me personally is I see more viral videos and more examples of this happening in this sport than any other, and that's with baseball fans. And that is seeing those great moments where the dude catches the home run or the foul ball and finds the nearest 8-year-old, 10-year-old, and tosses him the ball. Or when you even see the little kid give it to another little kid.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's something special I think baseball fans apparently have.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. And I have, in all the games I've been to, I have not even come close. There's been like two foul balls that kind of got close to me. And I will add, when one of them was a pop fly, I think it was like a row or two back, I about crap my pants. Like, I can't act like a hero. I was like my whole life. I used to be the kid who bring the glove to the game, right? And I even as a young adult going to games in LA by myself, my friends and I would still bring it, and we kind of realized, maybe this is a little juvenile, but I wished I had it that night. I saw it and it was just a pop fly, but the intensity, man, it was raining down on us, and I just had this thought of I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. So if I get one, so I always had a plan. This seems weird to say aloud, but when I would get in my seats, I'd look around and I'd find a kid, and I'd be like, "That's the kid." If I get one, that kid's winning tonight. I'm giving that little kid the ball tonight, but it's not happening. And then I love the clips of like the assholes or the Karens ripping balls out of kids' hands, and then we like find them and we mock them. I love that.
Yes.
Have you ever caught a foul ball? Foul ball?
Oh, no. And like you, I've never even been that close to it, and it's hilarious because the amount of times I used to go to Sox games back in the day when you could get standing room tickets for $10 and then just find an empty seat somewhere. I have
Hmm.
literally sat everywhere in Fenway. I have been front row behind home plate for a Yankees game just
Yeah.
because rich people don't show up to baseball.
Yes. Till later.
Uh, if
Uh,
at all.
yeah. Yeah. If at all. First of all, James is over in the UK has got to go. Just says DS8. I think he means DS9. DS9 rocks. I believe Ken has bullied this caller for having good TV taste. I have bullied Jared.
Uh,
James is in your corner, Jared.
what
Um,
Ken doesn't know is I like it.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right.
But so
Yeah.
now
What's the
my
what if?
the hot D what if?
Okay.
What if, because I've been rewatching season one, what if Vizzy T's Last Supper worked? What if the family actually put aside past grievances? Would that actually have led to peace or still a civil war amongst the other families in the realm because they're still installing a queen?
Yes. So okay. So to translate a little bit here, this is a House of the Dragon question for those listening. If King Viserys, who before his death torn apart by the family fighting. There was a lot of infight already brewing. The greens and the blacks had kind of emerged. He held a family dinner, and it's one of my favorite episodes and one of my favorite scenes in House of the Dragon. Which is a show that I love that doesn't hit me as deep as Game of Thrones, but I'm so in the world that I'm there for it. And the second season really worked for me. The first season did too, but the second season I thought was a little better. This is towards the end of season one. And there's this it's like a sitcom moment almost. It's almost like when the family or a movie where everyone goes into slow motion and there's just a lot of that like laughing and backslapping. And he thought for a moment he brought his family together. If it had worked, Jared, the what you said is the biggest problem in the wrench it's all fine until they try to put a woman on the throne. And I still think it would have cracked. I still think there would have been some sort of break in the foundation. And who knows? The realm seems divided, and there's a lot of people who want to support the idea of woman on the throne. But you know, what I mean, like, I still think that's the X factor that I can't fully account for. But I think it would have held off some of the fighting. It would have been a little bit longer until he died.
Yeah, no, I can kind of agree with that too. It's just I feel like it would have worked for the weekend. The party would have happened,
Yes.
and then because news travels slow.
Yes.
The Ravens got to get out there.
Yeah.
But once they're out there, there's a
Like,
lot of
y-
low thinking people.
yeah, I'm trying to think of a real world example. And the only one I can think is we kind of just hated each other at Collider, and we were getting none of us. It was not working, but when we would go to Comic-Con as a team, and you work hard, but then you go to a party. We're all at parties drinking. I love you, man. Oh my god! And then Then you drive back from San Diego, and you go back to the office, and you're like, I hate it here, and I hate everyone here. I just hate it.
Like that makes me a little sad in my heart because you guys did put on a good camera face for it. Trust me, you really did.
Acting.
It
Yes.
really is. The
Yes.
Schmodown early seasons were a lot of fun when it
Oh, they were fun.
felt more improv-y and less.
They were fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed those days. I always say the peak of the Schmodown was the JT doc, the rise and fall of JT. That to me is when I was all in on it, and it for reasons I've said before, I think it kind of had to evolve and to get to where they wanted it to go. It changed, and it wasn't for me as much. But I had a lot of fun in the final season. I really hold on to that. I really loved the final season. I thought it could have been something, but that JT doc is the peak for me.
Those were good times.
Laserworld says even the name Collider sounds aggressive. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
just it's a great American example of maybe a crypto bro shouldn't be in charge.
There's a lot of people that shouldn't have been in charge. Yeah, I'll share. I'll share one silly story of. I may have said it before. We all had to go to New York. I had just left Screen Junkies maybe a month, 2 months in, and we all had to go to New York for like a complex company party and like a meeting. Like it was a thing. Like because it was Complex owned, like there was a conservative website called like Red Boys or something like that. There was like all the hip hop stuff, the urban stuff, and then Collider. And we knew we were not in a good spot because they showed like the company highlight video to start the meeting. It was at like a club, which that was number one. It was at a club. And then like, and it was like, all right. And they showed here's Complex now. And we weren't featured in it. Like Collider video was not featured in it. And we're like, uh-oh. Makuga, the CEO, gets on stage. Have you ever seen those clips of those old CEOs like at Microsoft unveilings in like 1995? And it's a bunch of like unhip dudes like trying to like,
Oh, yeah.
woo, yeah. Like, yeah, and they're trying to clap. And the CEO guy, he was that. Dressed
God.
a little nicer. But he's on stage and he's dropping F-bombs in a way, like, I don't mind swearing here every once in a while, but it would get me demonetized. He just was dropping F-bombs. He's the CEO of the company, but like, we're gonna fuck them up. Like all that kind of shit. They were like, who are we fighting? This is a company thing.
Right? Like it's you two, brother. Calm yourself.
And it's in this club in New York City. It was the coldest I've ever experienced as a human being. We're in the club. All this is happening. Cut to me and Josh Bakuga literally leaning on each other's shoulders. Just asleep, snoring so loud that our friends started yelling at us. They started waking us up, and we were like, I thought we were going to be fired. And those are how the trips went. Those are how the trips went. Oh, the good old days when I had a job. Anyways, Jared, I appreciate the call. I appreciate everything, man. And any band practice, any show? When's the next shows? When you playing?
The 28th of this month. We're playing a little like cafe coffee club that it's going to be interesting. That we'll probably break all the windows in.
I love that. If you get video footage, we'll play it here.
Yeah, sounds
Do a
great.
little clip. Get the word out. All right.
And then next month, I think hopefully we've got a regular bar venue, and then maybe a skate park wants us to play.
Oh, I love that. Please break those windows, says Svetnik. Jared, thanks for calling in, my friend.
Always be safe, my guys.
All right, Jared, the Tide Pilot, and his band Concepts of a Plan. Anyways, I know sometimes people want me to drop some tea on the old stories, and I try to be respectful about it. It was a weird time, but it was a weird golden age of digital media that is long gone. But there you go. Alan Smithy's here. Alan Smithy voted for beer. Thank you, Jared, the Tide Pilot. Remember seeing Dorina. I don't know where she went. I like Bear now, but I stayed with Claude, I think. Dorina's doing shows. Check out Dorina's channel, DJ Bruja. DJ Bruja is her channel here on YouTube. I got to get her on the show. And she's doing great stuff with the music streaming and everything. She's on Mixcloud. After I launched Pop Rockin' Radio, she called me and said, that's I'd like to do. So we got there. Check out Dorina. Check out Dorina. Patty Boy's here, says, howdy, partners. Howdy, partners. It's the wildest ride in the wilderness. Dylan Bear says, I discovered you on Drunk Movie Fights. Yeah, Drunk Movie Fights. If you guys want me to tell some of the stories of Drunk Movie Fights that have been told before, but this is great. Oh, Hal says, you're missing out on Romo and I driving Plume insane. I'm going to hear about it. I can't wait. How do you, if you're a Fortnite player out there, what is your game style? I like all kind of game styles, I guess. I'm on a spectrum of it, I guess. But I enjoy sometimes a slow roll, sometimes a quiet roll, where hiding some bushes, some strategy. But if you're playing with Hal and Romo, you jump out of that bus ready to fight. And we had some fun today. Super chat from Matthew Stokes. Appreciate that, Matthew. You've been tremendously generous to this channel, and I really, really do appreciate that. Brennan Marr is going to be calling in here right now, but we got this question. Will McLean, is Finstock still around? Don't hear much from him anymore. Yes, he is around. Oh, also Matthew, gifted memberships, love it. Patty Boy, you never catch me live. Well, I'm glad you're here. Hey, everyone, my buddy Michael's here with the Figure Report. Ahoy, ahoy. Subscribe to the Figure Report right now if you can on YouTube, or find him on Instagram. He always does some great stuff. And Michael, I got to get you to call into the show here soon, checking in from New York City. I'll talk. If you guys have any specific questions about Drunk Movie Fights, I'll try to answer it. But right now, Brennan Mystical Moore is on the show. He's a host of the podcast. Page Turners They Were Not. We love having him call in. Brennan, how you doing, my friend, and what's on your mind?
DS9 is awesome.
You're a DS9er too? Okay.
Yes, I am. Yes.
All right.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
I trust you, Brennan. So if you say, and I trust the other people. Look, I kind of trust Jared the TIE Pilot, but I trust you.
Yes, and also King Viserys, good man, but did not keep his family from fighting.
Right,
saved his life.
What do you think? You're a fan of this stuff, Brennan? You're a big fan of Game of Thrones?
I've seen season 1 of House of the Dragon.
Okay, didn't see season 2. Okay, did you not like season 1? Where were you at with it?
I love season 1. Yeah.
Okay. Check it. Season 2 is great. I really love getting
behind.
Aren't we all? Yeah, season 2 is great. I love that you got to spend time with the cast for a full season. So
that dinner scene with King Viserys is an awkward moment.
Mm-hmm. Because he's so happy, and they're all.
It's like, yeah,
Brett,
there it is.
Brett, Tully says it. You're surrounded by DS9 people, Ken. It's going to get you soon. Oh man, I'm scared. Anyways, Brennan,
you gotta get on the DS9 train.
What's choo? What's on your mind tonight, Brennan? I want to hear.
Well, the world is a little crazy, so I hear. But this is a really nice community.
Absolutely.
I remember discovering you because of. Well, it's a long story. So in the late 2000s, early 2010s.
Okay.
I was a big fan of Nostalgia Critic.
Got it. Yes.
Maybe not so big of a fan of it now, but that's another story.
Sure. But it was a different time. Yeah.
But one day I was watching his video, and then on the right in the suggested thumbnails was the thing that said AMC Movie Talk.
Right.
And this is the old closet days. This was.
Oh yeah, when they were in AMC, yeah,
in his closet.
Yeah.
Doing it. I think I started it right around the time that Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Okay, yeah, 2012.
And then it eventually led to me discovering you. So.
Was it through the schmoes or when I finally was on Screen Junkies? I don't care either way. I don't know why I'm asking, but
it was the schmoes now show.
Okay. So it was the real me. You found the real me.
Mm-hmm. And just to point out, yeah, Dorina's still around. I'm part of her Patreon. I don't want to brag, but I was actually her first patron.
You should brag about that. We
Yeah.
appreciate your support.
As
You're
soon as she started on Patreon, I went, okay. And
yeah,
that was cool.
yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to see where everyone's careers is sort of gone
It all
after
yeah.
the later days. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of natural after the bands break up and everything kind of goes like this. And I miss the community of creators I used to be around. Like
Yeah.
there were some pretty fun times. I loved going to Comic-Con every year. We'd go there to work, and sometimes you worked your ass off. But you were just like you would be at a party, and 50 people there were people you legitimately loved working with or were
Yeah.
on shows with, and it was a wild time that went by so fast, and it's so gone. And Comic-Con now is fun for some. It's totally different. Joe Star and I couldn't even get into the fandom party this year. We were blocked from getting into the party that we both
Well, just
for a
come
company.
to GalaxyCon in San Jose.
I didn't come on down there.
Come visit me over here.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to get to some more cons.
It's interesting to see where it's all gone. I mean, I started that podcast because of Force Center.
Nice.
And, I've been doing it for 7 years.
Nice, 7 years with it.
And it's so funny. People always say to me, how is there that much to talk about in Star Wars?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have no idea.
And you know what's also fun too? We're discovering in a Force Center is, especially with like the Star Wars Ranked, we're kind of revisiting some things we've talked about, but we realize it's been 8 or 9 years, and not only there's sometimes more choices and more things to discuss in that subgenre or subtopic, but you change. And 8 years ago, my favorite bounty hunter is going to be a different answer than it is now, and that's part of the fun too of digging in a little deeper.
I remember some of your early thoughts on things like Rebels and stuff that we don't need to necessarily bring up now, but
yeah,
it is interesting to see how things evolve.
It is. It is.
For a while.
Great comment too, Patty Boy. I haven't seen Joe Star in a while. One of the funniest guys. He's still one of the funniest guys.
Mm-hmm.
Working hard, more off camera now these days for Wizards of the Coast, and one of my best friends. And I see him often. No, Brennan, I appreciate you saying the stuff about Force Center and how it inspired you. I love that we have you in the positive Star Wars podcast camp. It means a lot to have someone like you fighting along. Thanks for calling. Anything specific on your mind tonight? Other than King Viserys and his bad meal?
Well, it's. I mean, I've heard tales of people whose Thanksgiving and Christmases get a little crazy because, some crazy uncle with his political opinions.
Yeah.
I can tell you that it doesn't really happen at our house.
That's good. I think you deserve a peaceful holiday. Yeah.
Not to brag, but just to say it doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't come up at our holidays.
Well, that's good, and I think you deserve a peaceful holiday, Brennan.
And with the world being crazy right now, and everyone's kind of scared.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate answer is don't stop trying.
I love that answer, Brennan. I think that's very important.
I think the worst thing that can happen is nihilism, for people just to say, "Oh, screw it all." And that's the end.
I agree with you, Brennan. And nihilism, is a step away from cynicism that starts it. And I think there's some realistic reasons to be cynical. I remain cynical over some things too, but that can slide away real fast from you and into what you're talking about here. And giving up the
anger leads to hate leads to suffering.
There you go.
It's almost like George Lucas had some idea what was going on. You remember when we all thought the taxation of trade routes was the dumbest thing we ever heard.
Right. Yeah.
And here we are in 2025, and I'll just leave it at that.
Exactly. We're pretty close to Amazon having senators. I think it's possible. So,
but regardless, it's the real answer is don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't stop trying. Nihilism is. I believe in the devil, and I think nihilism is his greatest tool.
I can get on board with you for that there.
Give up.
Nihilism is an empty well. There you go. That's what Patty said. Yeah, absolutely.
So don't stop trying.
Don't stop believing. There you go.
There you go.
Brendan, thanks for calling in as always, buddy. Congratulations on crossing 7 years with your podcast, too.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm coming up on 8 years later this year. So.
Well, let's celebrate that.
All right. Well, thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Brendan, as always. Brendan Marr, everybody, calling in the heart and soul of the show around here. I love the Detective Michael McCarcel saying, stay strong, Ken. At this point, it's funnier if you never just watch DS9. Look, it's not that I don't want to watch these shows. I don't have the time commitment. And you're going to say, but Ken, you play Fortnite every night. Yeah, that's part of what I do. Well, you can't take that away from me. But also, like, this is how much I can commit to the bid on this. One of my friends wanted me to watch the movie Fridays at work. And he kept saying, you got to watch Fridays. You got to watch Fridays. And this was before streaming, 15 years before streaming. So he brought in his DVD copy of Fridays and he left it on my supervisor desk. And I put it in the trash. I put it in the trash in the way where everyone would see it. And he would see it when we come back in at the end of a shift. And he was upset, but he also appreciated it. And I left. I did not, it wasn't a joke where I sat there in the corner. I got up and I left. I left. So anyways, one day we'll get to it. Laserbolt says, to be honest, it's okay if you skip the first season. All right. If we got any super blathers on specific questions, we'll go there. I'll answer. Maybe I'll do drunk movie fights if you have any specific questions about it. But right now, I want to welcome to the show Ethan, but we call him Osvetnik around here. And I like saying that name. So, Osvetnik 1138. Ethan, how you doing, buddy? You're on the show.
Hey there, I'm doing great. How are you doing, Ken?
Oh man, I'm feeling better. I gotta say something, Ethan. What do you prefer? You put Ethan in your call here just so you know that I know that you're a real human. But Osvetnik is such a good username.
You can call me whatever you like, Ken.
Love it. I love it. Are you broadcasting from Kuwait? We have a CNN live shot delay, and I love it. No, I gotta tell you, I have not been. This week has not been the best week for me. I've had a couple breakdowns, some tears, and which is okay. And today, even not feeling great, but I was like, I'm excited to hang out with my blathering friends tonight. So it really means a lot to me. I hope it means a lot to all you out there that we get together and hang out here. But Osvetnik, what is on your mind tonight?
Well, I know I've been looking forward to it.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Well, what's been on my mind? Well, we've got the big game tomorrow. Yeah. So we've got the big game tomorrow. Can't say it the other way. It's the big game. I'm rooting for the Chiefs.
You are. You're Kansas City booster, right? Yep.
Yeah, I live here, grew up here. But what I was going to talk about was Super Bowl halftime shows. Do you have a favorite?
Yes, it is. That's a great question. I almost want to see them all in front of me. The two that come to mind are U2, February 2002, Super Bowl following 9/11, and they had just kind of come back in the limelight, as Bono said, reapplied for the job of the best band in the world, and All That You Can't Leave Behind, right? Was that the album? Love U2. So doing that, the tribute, the names on the wall, it just was.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't love U2. They saved my life, but it was the right band at the right time for that. So there's that one, and then I will go Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's interesting for me is when Gaga played, I was not a Gaga fan. I was starting to appreciate her beyond just thinking she was the meat dress lady, she never was just that. And meat dress is actually a pretty good statement. But the Super Bowl and also one of her SNL hosting gigs around that time was the first time I was like, oh, I think I've misunderstood what's going on here. And the Super Bowl, and I'll watch the Super Bowl, her Super Bowl halftime show. Sometimes I just have it up on YouTube. It's featured prominently. It's kind of the basis of that 5'2" doc. It's kind of leads up to it and everything. So it's one of my favorite things there. You? Where do you go, Osvetnik?
Well, I was also thinking about the U2 show.
Yeah.
I was younger at that time, but I can still remember while they were playing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think we lost those Vetnik.
Dag nabbit, it's my end.
You're back now. You're back now. You're back now. It cut off. It cut off. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't think the internet is very great in the office tonight.
Well, you got tell you why, everyone's getting ready for the big game tomorrow, so there's a lot of downloading food recipes going on in your neighborhood.
That's it. But no, what I was saying was the U2. I can still remember the like the big games and Bono opening up his jacket and the liner being the American flag. I can remember. Right. I remember seeing that live, and that was pretty great. I think an underrated one from more recently was Bruno Mars. I thought he did a really great job. Yep. I could have gone without the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think they kind of came in and took it off the rails a little bit, in my opinion. But
that's funny.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that one. I'm trying to I watched the Wardrobe Malfunction live with everyone there. Timberlake, Janet, but I don't remember outside of that. I don't remember that. The Britney and Aerosmith one, I kind of remember, but I don't know what I remember.
It's funny you bring up the Malfunction. You talk about your experiences growing up in a Christian household. I can remember my mom jumping from across the room to cover my eyes. It's funny. I was in LA living with my roommates, but if my mom was there, she would have done that as well. The best story I always tell is we rented Monty Python's The Meaning of Life, which is one of their movies that's a little less popular. It's a collection of things, and at one point there's a character, I think it's Terry Jones, being chased by a bunch of topless women, and this scene comes on, and my mom freaks out and is like, close your eyes. Of course, I'm like, no. And my dad, she's like, fast forward it. And my dad fast forwards it with like an old VCR remote that's like actually wired to the VCR. And, now instead of just seeing the women bouncing along chasing Terry Jones, now I got to see it at full speed, like triple speed. And it was like, bang, 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 bang. And she was screaming. And it was like she thought I was going to go straight to hell or go get someone pregnant immediately. It was hilarious. So, yes, I share your experience there. Yeah. Well, hey, I think you've got probably have some more people to get to, and I'm watching my boys tonight, so I stole away for a moment to make a call.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Svetnik. Yeah.
Before I go, I just want to say I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but thanks to Cal for the gifted membership, so I could make such a call.
Love it. Makes a difference. I appreciate it. Svetnik, thanks for calling in. Thanks for calling in, and thanks for being here and on Force Center as well. We appreciate you there.
Yep. Have a great night.
Thanks, Svetnik. I love that. We had that was like talking to Wolf Blitzer on location in Kuwait there. I started some questions here with your halftime answers. Dylan Barry says Prince. Love that. Brian's right. Super Bowl was Gaga's metamorphosis from avant-garde to superstar. I agree with that. Eli, Star Wars and Galaxy. The West Coast rap one is up there, but yeah, Prince. Yeah, that West Coast rap one was great. Yeah, I remember that one. All stars, man. Hal Lublin says I was there for McCartney. Ooh, just been there watching Beatle live. Was amazing. Rich T kept talking about Katy Perry and Shark. Left Shark or whatever it was. Couple questions about the Rise of Skywalker commentary. Extra Cheddar's here. Extra Cheddar, good to see you here. I had some cheddar today with my sandwich. Just watched along with the Rise of Skywalker commentary you and Joseph Scrimshaw did. Really boosted my spirits and hope in these troubling times. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching it. Thanks for being there with us to celebrate it. And then Rich T had a follow-up, says, when did you and Joseph record the Rise of Skywalker commentary? It was a Patreon goal first, and so we, I think we did it a few months ago. It was a couple months ago. And we kind of always intended to put it up on YouTube later, and we just forgot. We plumb forgot. And one day I was like, hey, I still have that big file. Why don't we do that? And so we did. So we put it up today. So if you guys want to watch Rise of Skywalker with me and Joseph, Jennifer, the day we recorded just could not be on and couldn't make it. So it's just Joseph and I. But we want to do more of those too. So if you're a Force Center fan, hop over there and watch that and support those. No super blathers tonight. So I'm answering your questions here. And we got a call from Brady. Corey's here. Corey, thanks again for the very generous super chat the other day. Heart of Top Gaga and Prince, love both. Yeah, the Prince one, I don't even remember. When did Prince... I do, like, I have that vague memory. I remember seeing it, remember watching it. But what Super Bowl was that one going on there? When did Prince... when did Princess Diana pass away? February 4th, 2007. At Dolphin Stadium, too. Wow, yeah. Don't remember that one as much. I just remember the vibes. Colts versus Bears. It was raining. Before in Purple Rain, in the rain. Wow, yeah. Rest in peace, Prince. One of the greatest. One of the weirdest, which is also probably why he's one of the greatest. All right, let's take a call here. If you're just tuning in, this is the Blathering Live with me, Ken Napzok. We go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays until my schedule in life changes, and then we'll find out new days to go live. But I do want to point some things out to you if you'd like to support. Check out my buddy Adam Knight's book, Cowboy Endings, book one of his Overdrive series. Get it on Amazon or any place you choose to get books. I know a lot of people might not be shopping on Amazon these days. But for people selling books, that's still one of the best spots, so consider it, or look for other spots where you can get books and check out Adam Knight's Cowboy Ending series. Get The Art of DuckTales by my buddy Ken Plume. The deluxe edition is available. Just type in that link, bit.ly.DuckTalesBook or /DuckTalesBook, bit.ly/DuckTalesBook. Check that one out there. Also, want to highlight our buddy Brandon McClure. He's got a great Substack out there for you called Bitchin' About Nothing. Highly recommend it. Brandon was my original comic book guy. He sold me comic books. Very smart, insightful, thoughtful entertainment pundit. Check out his entertainment news and opinions on Substack at btmcclure.substack.com. If you're watching, you can also just scan that QR code there. Couple calls, couple questions, and we will keep on going. Ken Plume says, come collect Hal and Romo. Oh, my God. Did they die? Did they die? Want to know that. We'll check the, we got calls coming in from Brady, calls coming in from Steve here. Sven here. Hello. I got Morrissey tickets. Oh, the Smith. Your thoughts. Okay. This is Sven. I have, some people in my life are big, like, meaning like some close friends from my past, like former roommates and stuff, who maybe I don't talk to all the time, but they're still real close to me, like big Smiths fans, big Morrissey fans. And I wasn't, despite my love of British rock music in the mid-90s, of which Morrissey and Johnny Marr influenced so many in great ways, including my favorite band Oasis. I didn't get into the Smiths as much, but I do love a good Smiths song. Morrissey, speaking of talented weirdos who kind of do their own thing, Morrissey's always been that, an artist to the core, and I've always respected his work. So yeah, I have a good relationship with the Smiths, but it's not they're one of my favorites, which it just happens sometimes. But like I said, I used to love playing them on the radio. Always a popular request, always a popular song. So love that there. I'm so happy for you, Sven, that you get to go see one of your favorite bands. That is special when you get to see one of your favorite artists. Rad says, I'm just waiting for the new metal version of West Coast Rap Bowl. Lincoln Park and the POD and the Papa Roach and Corn would be so much dumb fun. One can dream. Rads, I hope for you and many other people that happens on the Super Bowl. Let's take some calls. We got Brady calling in here tonight. Brady, it's the eve of the big game. Are you excited? What's your food of choice?
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
I'm not
friends.
really a big Super Bowl fan. I mean, a football fan, but I do watch the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm gonna be eating anything this year. Maybe.
You're
Also,
okay. Hold on.
I'm
There's
also
a lot. Hold on. There's a lot going on here. I understand if you're not a big Super Bowl fan or big game, whatever. NFL can sue me at this point. I know you're a big basketball fan. You do love all sports, but basketball, baseball, maybe are they a little higher on the list than football for you?
yeah, basketball number one for sure. Then baseball. And then
Okay.
football. To be honest, I only learned the rules of football in high school, and that was because I was in the marching band. So I was like,
you had to know when to play your trombone on third down or something like that? Okay, that's great.
I was like, I'm going to be watching this for 2 hours. I might as well know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Fair. I love that. All right. Look, I here's the thing too. I haven't been to a Super Bowl party in years. I'm probably just going to hang out at Mark Ellis's house. We'll be alone on a couch, not talking to each other like repressed men do. We'll have a couple snacks. It won't be a party. Like I haven't been to a Super Bowl party in years, so I can't say, despite me loving football, that Super Bowl is my favorite thing. Which is why I'm probably having trouble remembering some of the halftime shows, because I usually just get up and I just go. I just do something else, and then I come back in like 30 minutes. So I'm with you. So I'm not mocking you. I'm just curious of your journey, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I wonder if it's maybe because my family's we're an immigrant family, so we never really got into the good old pigskin game.
This is I'm trying to ask this as an honest question. In an immigrant family, are there things that wherever you're from in the world, do you feel maybe more than know personally? Is there times that you might connect with something that is so American? The Super Bowl is American, right? It's this thing that's almost so B-1 bombers fly over when the national anthem plays, and it almost should be a holiday. Is there some kind of not desire to be connected to that, but to be like, all right, this is my country of where I live now, or something like? How do you approach something like that? I'm fascinated, because if I was the other way around, I'd want to be part of the culture I was now living in, and name an event, plug and play from many other parts of the world. Like, I'd want to experience it and try to understand it.
Yeah, I think there's like two different, like really strongly opposing wings. There's some families who go directly into, like, they're big Super Bowl people. They like, I have this. I am going to choose the most American team. I think there's some families Cowboys. I know are like Cowboys fans.
Cowboys.
I was born in Texas. I grew up. I lived in Texas for a couple of years, so I know a couple of my share of Cowboys fans. But yeah, my family. I guess this is a Chinese thing. Just basketball. Okay. Basketball is really popular in China, and that's kind of the where I grew up in.
That's no. Good, thank you. Asked and answered in a wonderful way. Just kind of wondering about it. It makes me think of the great Simpsons bit when Apu is trying to become a citizen, and he takes a test, and he's like trying to be a baseball fan, and it's a great. The Nye Mets are my favorite baseball squadron. One of my favorite Simpsons jokes. But I just because I'm trying to put myself in the shoes if I go to or actually when I move to another country. I want to, it's not, I don't mean it in like a fake way, but just like, I'm here. I want to understand it. So you can't avoid the Super Bowl. So it's an interesting perspective.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Once I mentioned it before, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I'm just going to buy a big bag and
that's right.
Use chopsticks to not get my fingers dirty,
That's smart. Grace does that.
Yeah. I'm glad people are catching on to that. Yeah. Chopsticks are the best gripping tool.
They are, and Grace, any chip, popcorn, anything, she uses a chopstick to not only keep her hands clean, but to make sure it's going straight in the mouth and not taking the chapstick off the lips and anything like that. So there you go. We know what we got to do. I got to find a way to market Blathering chopsticks. You got to brand some chopsticks. And Brady, we can start the movement.
We could. I don't know if anyone will buy that though.
Okay, look, no one buys my merch anyway, so maybe just try. I'll just try. I remember we did the afternoon straws, the glass straws, and it did not work out.
Yeah.
Blather sticks. Rich T's got the right idea. Blather sticks. That could work. Brady, thank you as always for calling it. Where are you watching the game tomorrow? If you're watching it at all.
The reason why I'm calling in is because I finished an assignment early, but I still have another project to work on, so probably at home.
Okay.
I'm doing some programming,
Well, you got to get to work, man. What are you doing wasting time with me? You got to get to work, man.
This is my break time.
Love it.
I just want to mention one thing that I found funny from the last call. You were mentioning how you looked up Luka Doncic and you're thinking, how could this guy be the current face of the NBA?
Right.
I just wanted to let you know that the current best player in the NBA is a Serbian dude named Jokic. His nickname is the Joker. And his entire vibe is he's just the 9-to-5 basketball. He's the 9-to-5 MVP. He just clocks in, clocks out, scores 30 points, triple-double.
I respect it.
All right, I want to go home, take care of my horses.
I respect it. I respect it. I like that. I like that.
Ratings are down, but you know what?
Maybe that's why. But it's good nonetheless. I appreciate Brady your call as always. Get to work, my friend. Okay.
Okay. And thanks for having me.
8984M, aka Brady, aka Kyrie, calling in here. And we got Matthew Stokes is Simply Straw patron right here. Thank you. Yeah, we sold the Simply Straws. The afternoons with Josh and Ked, we sold the Simply Straws. And we were making an environmental statement because now you got our dumb president signing an executive order to get rid of paper straws and those dumb woke straws. We need to cut down on the plastic straws. Simply Straw was a way to do it. And Matthew, you might have been one of the only people that did it there. Okay. Jared says, I bought your book when it came out. I listened to you read it to me. I'll read it to you, Jared. Giggity. We got some. Sven came back with a super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Says I've never seen the Smiths live, and I'm excited. Oh man, Sven, that's even. It makes me more happy for you when you finally get to see one of your favorite artists. Like U2 is a band that changed my life. Like I say, they saved my life in the early 2000s when I was in a really dark, depressed place. Still never seen them live. I've had a couple times I came close and had an opportunity to see him at the Sphere, and I on the Sphere, and I couldn't. It was one of those things like I'm not gonna go. And that was the night Gaga walked out. I was so angry at myself because I could have made it work. And Mark Ellis and Darina and another friend went, and then I started getting texts from them. Gaga just came out, so I've seen Gaga, but I could have seen Gaga with you too, and I didn't. So, but Sven, for you to get to see Smiths, one of your favorite bands, I'm really excited for you. Steve, we got Vanchus here saying I got a free membership from someone. I'm very grateful. Yeah, we got a couple memberships, 20 memberships gifted tonight. James Holmes gifted 10, and Matthew Stokes gifted 10. So we appreciate that. Appreciate the gifted subs. It brings people on here to check out what's going on in our world here. We got Steve in a second, producer Steve, taking a call, but I'm going to catch up some of these questions here. Dylan Barry says, what is your relationship with networking in LA? Sometimes it can take the fun out of something like Super Bowl party because people are just trying to make moves and not sit back and relax. That's grand, I guess. Yeah, I think that's probably why I've never had a super successful career in a lot of ways. I love talking to people, love chopping it up. I love being in comedy green rooms, but I don't network well. I don't get invited on a lot of other comedy shows. I don't get invited on a lot of other podcasts from people in my fields or my peers or colleagues. I back in the day when I was doing screenwriting and stuff like that, I couldn't do it, and I failed. And it's a skill. And some people try to force it. I think networking works best when it's a connection that you actually form, and you actually build a real friendship or a real respect for each other, and then that person gets in a position where they can help you. That person gets into a job in which they can bring you along, and then vice versa. That's true networking to me. Well, you're talking about, Dylan, I don't know. There was one big party I was at years ago during kind of the early digital media days, and kind of our de facto leader kind of was like, hey, we're not here for fun tonight. He stopped us before we all walked to the party. We're not here for fun. We're here to network. And I don't disagree with the sentiment because I think that's kind of sometimes needed. I understood it, but it wasn't as fun. You know, it's not organic. It's not real. It's not real connections. So stuff, but I think you need to be good at it because I'm an example of someone who doesn't network well. Rad says learning NFL earlier than me English because being English, I only started getting into it because Super Bowl was an excuse to drink in university. Well, there you go. I mean, the NFL is big in UK right now. That's why they legitimately want to maybe put a franchise over there, which always seemed weird to me. But the flight from, if you're the LA Chargers going to a London game, that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a flight. But if you're from New York or something, that's a little less of a flight. So, almost the same going out to the West Coast. So I can see it work. But I'm with you there, Reds. Understand what you're talking about. I want to learn to drink. Rich T says, do artists that paint, draw ever do shows? I know Bob Ross had a TV show, but has anyone done stuff live on stage and just drew paint on the spot, had people watch? They definitely stream it, Rich T. It's big on Twitch too. I think I'm interested in what you're doing, what you're suggesting, a live show, like a stand-up show that's actually a stand-up show that's really actually just people painting. I think that'd be good. Hal's ready to call in. Oh, okay. I'll try to do that. Let me get a link here. Well, first of all, let me bring him to the show. Steve's on. Producer Steve's here. We don't get to see his face today because I didn't press the right button. Steve, how you doing?
Good, Ken. How are you? Thanks for having me again.
Your face is good, by the way. No problems with your face. I just, no pressure on you tonight.
No, I'm kind of glad because I brought some to the table tonight to be a little vulnerable, so I'm almost glad I'm not on camera.
Okay.
It's been an emotional roller coaster. What are you yelling? What are you laughing for?
No, I'm not. I'm just love. You're just like, look, I'm here to be vulnerable. I don't want anyone to see my face. That's too vulnerable.
Well, yeah. It's the day before the Super Bowl, Ken. I'm a wreck.
Okay. All right. Steve, hold on. Let's do it, Steve. Let's do this right. Steve.
Yeah.
You're on, and I'm here for you.
Okay.
What's on your mind?
Tomorrow could potentially be the fourth greatest day of my life.
Fourth greatest day.
So I've been having a hard time keeping focus today and everything. I thought of so many good things in the shower to say back to Josh and Mark for making fun of me for being an Eagles fan, by the way, but I don't have the courage to say any of it. Anyway.
Mostly Josh, but yeah.
It's okay. No, that was fun. But
he's a yinzer.
And I usually yeah, it's fine. I usually don't call in on Saturdays because we get enough producer Steve on the other days, but it's the day before the Super Bowl, and I had this outlet that I just had to put out. So I wrote a short essay and I timed it, and it comes in just under 2 minutes.
Okay.
So
I cede the floor. Everyone, producer Steve, Philadelphia Eagle fan, feeling anxious about the Super Bowl, is going to share his thoughts with us. Steve, please take it away.
Thank you. So this isn't necessarily an X and O's exercise. This is more of just reflections on the Super Bowl. So this is why is the Super Bowl important? The absurdity of sports and what it says about our culture and ourselves. A short essay by producer Steve. As we sit here on the eve of the biggest annual sporting event in our somewhat crumbling country, we have a chance to reflect on why this silly little game means so much. Captured by commerce, this capitalistic king meets popular culture in a celebration of the game's best. Airtime for a 30-second commercial tomorrow is reportedly around $8 million. That's more than 39 Eagles and 31 Chiefs made in cash salary this year. Not a lot brings people together culturally these days. We do an awful lot of looking for ways to divide ourselves on top of the extra societal pressures already pushing many in that direction. The Super Bowl invades our living room televisions, our grocery store displays, our morning radio conversations, our YouTube algorithms, our classrooms, our offices, and that's all even if you're not a sports fan. There's about 340 million people living in the United States, and Super Bowl 48 averaged 123.7 million viewers, the most watched program in American history. Whether it's the commercials, the halftime show, the degenerate gambling, the appetizers, or the party games, rarely does a television event offer such a diverse array of opportunities to connect over anything but the actual reason it brings us together. And that is exactly why our society could use a little of right now. Sports rivalries are fierce. People yell, scream, hell, they even die over them. It's insane, it's nonsensical, it's not aspirational, and it's honestly pretty stupid. But it's this dirty, icky corner of our human nature let loose. And aside from actual violence, obviously, a mostly harmless outlet for our inner rage. I've fired coaches into the sun, cut players in the first game of the season, benched every quarterback my team has ever had, because I'm a moron and I vent those feelings into something meaningless like sports. I really wish our world used sports more exclusively for this. But I also really want us to recognize with how much it divides us, let's take a bigger look at how this thing brings so many of us together and ask why. Why do so many of us care? Why this thing? What can we learn from that? To me, it proves society is capable of quite literally coming together for something. And how can we make that work? Is it really just the commercialism? Are we truly that shallow? Or deep down, do we really love this sense of community? This excuse to come together and forget red versus blue unless it's just the jersey color. I want to believe it's a sliver of a sign that we're not all lost from each other just yet.
Steve, that was beautiful. Did you write that in your shower?
Oh, I wish. That would be impressive.
I love that. Do you feel better about the game? And I hope you're right. I think it is. That's why I love sports. It's a great equalizer to me. We all can come together to enjoy it. I've spoken honestly and openly, but there's a lot of players in my favorite sports leagues and all my favorite sports teams that I loathe because of their beliefs that they've said, but I still sit there and watch the sport because of what it means to me in my life and what it means to the people around me. And it is a thing to be like, oh, I just had this last night. I met someone and I said something about I'm a Dolphin fan. He goes, I'm a Dolphin fan too. Instant connection. So maybe we can find our way forward through the big game.
Thank you so much, Ken. Appreciate it.
Steve, everybody, producer Steve. We're not done yet, though. We are about to wrap up, but I gotta tell you, I'm thrilled for this next caller. He is from Philadelphia. He is one of the greatest voice actors of this generation or any generations. He's also a super great Fortnite player, and he's pretty violent at it. Please welcome to the show, Hal Lublin, Fly Eagles Fly. Hal, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm happy that you're here, my friend. Happy that you're here.
I put on a hat. I had a whole outfit. I didn't know if I was going to be on camera.
You could be on camera.
Put me on camera. If I'm going to be here, let me be here.
Hal Lublin is here, everybody. A great Star Wars collector. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah.
How are you, buddy? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm a little teary after hearing that essay on sports.
Yeah. I mean, Steve's an Eagles fan, so you Eagles fans can fly high together.
He understands. For me, I know when I went to college, that was my first time really away from Philadelphia for an extended period of time. And that was sports became a way to connect with home. So it remains that way, having been in Los Angeles for almost 25 years.
Right. Beautiful.
But I'm here. I just want to point out, I'm happy, always happy to talk to you. This is a pressure campaign from Ken Plume, trying to force things to happen that are beautiful and would happen anyway. So I'm here with you and happy to do it. But this is Ken Plume's work.
Okay. So what's the pressure? What's he trying to, is he trying to pressure me to get into a Fortnite game with you all?
He's trying to pressure you to get into a Fortnite game. Exactly. He's like, get Napzok off of his live stream, get a controller in his hands.
But I'm working. I'm working here. What does he want?
He doesn't care. He wants when he wants it.
Did you explain to him how good we were when we took the violent approach today?
I tried. He wouldn't listen. He's gone insane with power.
Say with power. Okay. Well, we'll wrap it up here. Hal, let me answer we 50 votes are in. Yes. Favorite Super Bowl snack: wings, pizza, some kind of dip, just beer, please. Or you can add in an alternate choice. Pizza's winning with 34% of the vote.
Wow.
What's your favorite Super Bowl snack?
I like pizza with wings. I voted for wings. That was my vote.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have one. That's the thing I would go for, because it's also like you get to control your portions just a little bit better.
Yes.
You're not constrained by the size of the pie. Like, you take a wing, you take a pile of wings. Usually they get enough if you're at a party, or if you're at home alone. I'm not going to shame you. You eat as much as you want.
There's a 35% chance I watch the game alone tomorrow with my dog, and if that's the case, I'm walking up to my favorite 7-Eleven, getting 2 slices of pizza, 10 wings, and a beverage of choice, and going to town in a way that probably would get me banned even on OnlyFans.
Well, I'm the only fan of you eating wings, I guess, because I think that sounds great. And I like 7-Eleven, surprisingly decent wings.
They do get good wings. People, look, man, it's my favorite restaurant for a reason. So, All right. Final thing before I let you go and I start wrapping up the show. Fly, Eagles, fly. Honest answer. Where are you at going into the game tomorrow? And look, you've been an Eagles fan your whole life. You're a long way away from Ron Jaworski. Yes. You're a long way away from Randall Cunningham thrown to Mike Quick. How you feeling tomorrow? What's your honest prediction of the game?
I think we have a good chance of winning if everybody is healthy, and it looks like everybody who needs to play is going to play. But I'm not comfortable if we're up by 7 points or more later in the game. That wouldn't be enough. We would have to. I think we have the potential to win, but I would never discount the Chiefs. They've just done it too many times. This team feels special though this year. This feels like 2017 into 2018 did.
I'm telling you, I took the Eagles yesterday on the live stream. I'm holding to it. I think the Eagles are going to upset the narrative. I don't care how many refs are bought and paid off. I love Andy Reid. I think he's probably the best coach. Yep, got it. Mahomes is great. Don't like his political voting record, but he's great. Kelsey, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Taylor. I'm there. But the Eagles got a feeling. They got a vibe that I can't turn away from, Hal. Can't turn away.
I'll send you some videos that'll make you run up a mountain.
I love it. I love it. And as a Dolphin fan, I have no idea what all of you are talking about. I forget what the Super Bowl tastes like. All right, Hal, thanks for calling in. I'm going to try to wrap up and play a game before I have to go to my next thing. You tell Plume to calm down.
My pleasure. I'll do my best. You know how he gets.
I know. All right. Hal Lublin, everybody. Hal Lublin, Thrilling Adventure Hour. Check out his podcast, We Got This. It is a great show that I have been on, produced by Ken Plume with his buddy Mark. So there you go. Brian says, oh, dear God, not the 7-Eleven pizza. No, the pizza, Brian. The pizza's great. I had 2 slices of pizza last night. I came home from my comedy show, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I stopped at 7-Eleven. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have money these days. But 2 slices of 7-Eleven pizza and a Coke that I've mixed into this beverage. I got a Coke Zero with some rum right here. $5. $5 is what I'm saying here. All right. That's it. We're out of here. You guys are great. Fun show as always. This is always fun to hang out with all of you. Dylan has a question. What happened to the gaming streams? Here's what happened with the gaming streams. I do like them. I have it all set up over there. But there was one day, and Ken's Monday Night of Football was great. Maybe when the new Madden comes out, I'll do it if you guys want it. But there was just there was one day the game was kind of upsetting me, and I was getting a little mad on air. And people in chat were like, hey, throw the ball there, throw the ball there. And I just remember thinking, this is how I relax. I want to keep it to myself. And I decided to stop streaming games at that point. Was it a mistake? I don't know. Should I have never given up on Twitch and become a rich Twitch streamer? Maybe. Should I form some kind of offensive character and streamed under that? I don't know. Maybe. But I just kind of like keeping it to myself. Keep some things to yourself. We try to monetize in my line of work and a lot of life, try to monetize every hobby. And I think I need to. I need to monetize more hobbies to make it. But I like keeping some things back for myself. Maybe. I don't know. Great show tonight. You guys are the best. Thank you for the gifted subs. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the questions. You guys are awesome. I had nothing really planned for tonight's show, and I just knew I didn't want to go deeply political. I needed a little bit of a night off for it, but keep fighting. Use ResistBot. Call your reps. Call your senators. Let's try to save this world, everybody. We'll see the big games tomorrow. We'll break that down on Monday. Bye.